People seem to relate to and understand what I'm talking about when I say that it can be appropriate to add in what I call an asshole tax. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a sensitive and volatile topic, and that is pricing. Okay, so pricing is subjective. You know that, right? It's all over the map. People are charging, there's some people who are charging $2,000 for a service that other people are charging $8,000 and $10,000 and $12,000 and $15,000 for. So your pricing needs to reflect your experience, the value you deliver, and also needs to accommodate your business needs. So those are unique to you, right? What you need to be able to pay yourself well and to cover all your business expenses is a number that's unique to you. And you need to know what that number is, and you need to remember, everything that you're covering, right? Because it's not just what you're paying yourself, which I'm sure you're painfully aware of, but it's an important thing to consider. Another thing that's really important in this equation is you need to know how long it takes you to do things. Because if you don't know that one metric, then you don't really have control of your business. Because if you're selling your hours essentially, because you're creating something that takes you time to create, you need to know what you're actually getting for that work. Because it's easy to think, oh yeah, that takes me about 3 hours. And you might find out it actually takes you 6, which means you're making half as much as you thought you were. And this is something just to do periodically for yourself. Just time how long it takes you to do a certain project. Look at what you've charged for the project and see what your average per hour is, and then know if that covers all your expenses. And you can use that as a guide to create an internal hourly, not that you share with the client, because I'm still a fan of working on a project basis, but if you don't know how that project basis breaks down and covers your expenses, you're missing a really key piece of information. And what can happen in that case is, you get to year end or whenever you do your taxes and you see your numbers and you have a fit because they are not what you thought that they would be. Okay, so let's talk about pricing. With those two things out of the way, I talk a lot about non-resentment pricing. And what that means to me is it's enough money so that you're going to feel good about the project all through it, even with the bumps in the road that inevitably come, right? Because nothing ever goes smoothly. And so you don't want to find yourself in a project, ideally, where you're mad as hell that you're still working on it, right? Or where you're starting to resent that you're working on it. And that's not good for the work. It's not good for the client. So if you price so that you can cover the inevitability that does arise, and that's usually, maybe 10%, adding 10 or 15% to your original scope. So when you do that, then you've got the buffer built in if things go south in any way, shape, or form. And if they don't, you're now in the position to over deliver. You can throw something extra into the project because you want to deliver on the value they've paid for. The buffer is anticipating that things will happen that you don't anticipate. But in the event that everything goes smoothly, then you can throw something else in that you inevitably will discover as you're doing the project. So you want to know what price is going to make you feel good about the project. And so that's some place to start is with your gut. I will talk about, more specifics in the next video, but I want to mention one thing that I have used over the years and people seem to relate to and understand what I'm talking about when I say that it can be appropriate to add in what I call an asshole tax. If somebody looks like they're going to be difficult, you can't always tell, but you often can. And you're going to take the project anyway. And sometimes you do, right? Sometimes it's maybe great credibility for your company. Maybe somebody that you really want to work with. Maybe it's a time where you need a project and you want the money. And so you go in even knowing that this person might be difficult. And if you add a buffer, again, into your proposal, then, when they start being a jerk, then it's like, well, all right, well, at least I'm getting paid well for this. And, you knew it going in, but that makes it easier. It does. I mean, money will smooth out the edges of these things and you're in business. So that's okay. That's an okay way to set your pricing. Okay, in the next video, I'll talk a little bit more about specifics around pricing and your pricing, and I will leave you here for now. And if you want to be notified when these videos drop, click the bell, and you will be. And also, if you got any thoughts about this, the asshole tax, or anything else, comment below, because I will respond. Catch you next time.